In finding a job, just remember everything you do online is to supplement the validation of what you've done, what your resume looks like. It's still, you still have to be able, we still work person to person. First thing I'm going to start with is LinkedIn for finding jobs. So what did our parents do? Everywhere in the world, what did our parents do to find a job? What they had to do is they had to go out, they had to go door to door, they dropped off their resume, they met people, they networked, they did all of these things in order to develop the connections in order to build a job, to get one. The difference today, the cool thing about today is you no longer have to do that. You have all the tools online to get a job. But I think some people forget that going door to door, dropping off the resume still connects you with people. So when you're online, you have to still try to do the same thing. So when looking for a job, there's 3-4 tools that we like to see when going about that process. But I want to start with the foundation first. I just took a look at your guys' resumes. And what I'm going to do now is we're going to compare those resumes to your LinkedIn profile. Anybody that's looking to hire somebody now does two things. Basically, they get your resume, they file that resume, they look at it, they shortlist you. The minute that happens, they want to verify that everything in your resume is what you say it is. Before, you used to phone references, and that still happens. However, now there's another tool that they have. Recruiters can go and look at your online presence. They can look at your LinkedIn. They can look at your Facebook. They can look at everything you do online to verify that what you say on your resume is true. So the number one thing that I say when comparing getting a job to LinkedIn is make sure that your profile matches your resume. Usually, most people that we see have less information on LinkedIn than on their resume. However, I want to see that matched up. So all of those bullet points, those items that you do at each job. And the reason we see that is a lot of people change their resume per position. So they'll go in and they'll change their resume, they'll change certain things and certain keywords to help them for that position. I'm okay with a couple keywords changing. However, when we look at the LinkedIn profile, we still want it to be relatively the same. Now, with LinkedIn specifically, I'll talk about that. So if I was to say tip number 2 is make sure that your profile, after it matches your resume, is super strong towards your goals. Again, that means that you're catering the conversation towards the goal of what position you're looking for. You're still making sure it matches your resume, but then you have a completely filled out profile. There's beginner, there's intermediate, there's expert profiles. I always want to see the profile in the expert status so that you appear in more searches. You give yourself the greatest organic chance on LinkedIn to appear in searches for recruiters looking to reach out to you. Because if recruiters can reach out to you, then you've increased your chances of finding that position. You're still going to have to do your side of the work. You're still going to have to develop the relationship and reach out yourself. But if a recruiter reaches out to you, then you've put a lot of work in to make that organic reach go out from your profile. So make sure you have everything filled out, and we'll go through that next. So on your profile, use all of the tools to your benefit on a profile. So the first is your banner, okay? Your banner, whatever you put in your banner, it's going to be professional. It's going to relate to your goals and where you want to go. Utilize the banner and your profile picture to show off the level of position that you're looking for, show off your professionality, and exemplify yourself in the way that you can to push that out. Now, underneath that, every single profile has a name and then has this description here. So when you click edit, this headline on LinkedIn, on your profile, I always find is really important because it tells one of two things. You can say, seeking position in marketing, for example, and you're going to show any recruiter that says seeking marketing position, seeking marketing internship. You're going to start to appear in those searches. You can use it as a search tool. LinkedIn pulls from this headline for a lot of organic search results. Okay. The opposite is when you put the position that you're in at that time. However, some people bridge the gap and they leave it as the title of the position. So for example, if you're a marketing coordinator, in that headline position, you don't say marketing coordinator at XYZ. You would just say marketing professional marketing coordinator, whatever that is in that space, you keep appearing in searches. As soon as you change it to marketing coordinator at XYZ, you're not going to appear as organically as just saying marketing expert, marketing professional. So I have made the choice myself to take myself out of some of those searches because I want to identify with our agency. However, for people that are searching for more organic reach on LinkedIn, changing that to what your niche is, what your expert is really important. Then after that, you always have to set your current position because your current position is going to show also on searches. Education is super important, which we see that you have in there. Make sure that you have your education. On any social platform, I'll touch on this a little bit because LinkedIn is really big on that. When I said beginner, intermediate, expert, any social platform, the more you fill out, the more they trust your profile, which means you appear in more searches. That's the same across any platform, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, anything. Fill out more and you will appear in more searches. So if there's anything on your profile right now that's not filled out, you have to have something filled out for that section. Now, the other cool thing that comes into play here, so you even see here in this contact info, the more contact info you put into your profile, the more you will appear in searches. Now, some people are still scared to put their phone number. Some people are still scared to put their email. They think they're going to get a bunch of spam, but that is part of making sure that LinkedIn trusts your profile. So put it all out there. And it also allows people to contact you. Okay, the About section I love because most people don't know the About section. You can have videos about what you do. You can have documents. You can have a whole bunch of those items. So here, when you click About, you can upload documents, photos, sites, videos, and presentations. So for example, if you're searching for a marketing job and you're in university, you're part of a case study, and you come up with a project during your classes, in your group presentations, put that case study there. Show your findings. Show some of what you've completed as part of your portfolio in that section. And 99% of people on LinkedIn don't use that capability of the About section. Utilize it. It's going to help you stand out. People are going to see your profile as being different when they come to it. Put a video. If you're searching for a job, put a video there talking about some of what you've learned, some of what your experiences are. Talk about your authenticity, some of the things you like to do. And that's going to help you find an organization that has those same values as you. For myself, I put my YouTube videos here. I'll just refresh so that it shows up. So you see a lot of the YouTube videos, my top YouTube videos appear in this section of my profile. And 99% of profiles do not use this feature. Right? So even when someone clicks on it, right, it comes up here within native to LinkedIn, where then they can click view and go watch the video. You have to use a link. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, so I'll just show you that here. So when you click up, well, you can actually upload. I don't think you can do the video though. I'm pretty sure you can only do it. Yeah, so it doesn't look like it. You can't upload videos, but you can upload PDFs, PowerPoints, Word documents, PNGs, GIFs, JPEGs, all that stuff. And it can't go over 100 megabytes. Okay. For videos specifically, you have to have the link. So you can do a website link. If your case study has a link, you put a link to that, to your website, personal portfolio. To utilize that because it's a great place when people are searching on your profile to take your profile to another level. Again, not many people do it, so it helps you stand out above the noise. Underneath that, within your profile, you'll actually see how many times you appeared in searches. You can see a whole bunch of different metrics, how many times your profile was viewed. This is a great way to look at how you can increase that over time. Now, to increase this number, what we find is if you want your profile to be seen by more people, then you have to be social, the same as any platform. Go visit other people's profiles, send out messages, respond to messages. If you want to get more organic traction to find and try to build an audience, get out within the LinkedIn community and post as much as possible. It's going to help that number go up. Okay, next is the activity and articles section. Okay, so one of the things we talked about up above is the About section. You can have videos, documents, everything else. This is a fantastic place to now take some of that information that you have in your case studies and write thought-provoking, valuable articles and posts that will resonate with your audience. This is where it's seen. This is where people can see how many followers you have, what your activity is. Now, the one note on LinkedIn compared to other profiles is everything you do on LinkedIn appears in the activity section. So if you comment on something, make sure you're commenting within your goals and within your niche. Because if you're commenting on something that's outside of that, everyone's going to be able to see it in the activity section. That's different than other platforms that have taken that amount of transparency away. If you like something, it will appear in your activity. If you comment on something, it'll appear in your activity. So it's important on LinkedIn to keep it within your niche while still being authentic. Next is experience. Experience for me is one of the most important sections because we talked about it already in tip 1, which is make sure everything matches your resume. But there's a really cool thing you can do here as well. A lot of people don't know, again, that you can have videos, documents, PowerPoints, PDFs, all within those specific experience items. So for example, if you're working at a job, you're doing a marketing coordinator and you run a couple different campaigns, create a one-page PDF case study of what you've done in that campaign and what the results are, and put it on that position. It's going to help show off how you're moving your career along. It's going to help show off what you've done at each of those positions right away. Any recruiter that sees that is right away going to have something to talk about in the interview. It's going to help advance you further when looking for that job. All of that just based on what you have in your LinkedIn profile. Now that also brings up something, I mean, we're not done going through the profile, but an important tip is anyone you meet, connect with everyone. Connect with as many people as you can of people you meet. Has to be within your sphere. You have to know them, have to meet them. You're not connecting with random people. But connect with people. Now, connect, when I say don't connect with random people, obviously there's still the ability to connect with people that you want to get to know, that you're trying to reach out to. If you don't have LinkedIn Premium and you don't have the ability to send out in-mail, then it is really good to connect with some people that you want to send messages to. Right? So it is important to just connect. Some people I think are still afraid to put themselves out there to connect. They're worried about, but just connect, right? It's really cool to see how on LinkedIn you can reach out to someone just to have a 15-minute coffee and they respond back to you.
They do.
Right? And that's important because it helps you build connections online in a way that you can scale it compared to the old-fashioned way. In finding a job, just remember, everything you do online is to supplement the validation of what you've done, what your resume looks like. It's still, you still have to be able, we still work person to person. We still work with other people, which means you still have to go and reach out. You still have to go develop those relationships in the real world. Online helps. So if I'm going to recap that so far, when looking for a job, make sure, number 1, that your profile matches your resume on LinkedIn. Number 2, make sure that your LinkedIn profile is fully filled out. Everything possible that you can fill out to have expert profile status. It's going to help you get a farther organic reach. Number 3, go find jobs either on LinkedIn, Indeed, Monster, wherever you're looking for jobs. Find out where those jobs are for your specific position. Then create as many touch points as possible with those positions. Go out and drop off a resume still. Reach out through email, make a phone call, connect with the individual decision maker on LinkedIn. To find that, you can search on Google to try to find their email address, find that information, reach out as much as possible, get as many touch points as possible to develop that relationship, and duplicate that over multiple positions to increase your chances.